Rexborg as their cores to be able to deal with Team Vietnam. Is this going to be enough here? Now that both lineups have completed, I am seeing that they are quite balanced. Lots of early game utility as well as late game scaling on both sides. So you can tell that both teams are going into this game at 100%. They want that victory.
For some reason, this draft put a smile on my face because it's not really like super top heavy meta, right? It's just the heroes that they like to play. It's kind of like a personalized draft for Vietnam and Singapore. It kind of shows their own personality on the heroes that they chose. That's why I love this. It's not like 100% super meta, the most optimum picks. This is the picks for the robots. This is like a chosen hero from their heart. So I don't know. It just puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, but now that we're in the land of Dawn, Gnart already starting things off, it is going to be the Roamer Masha. So instantly trying to invade, but taking a lot of damage from both JPL and Sayla. Very interesting. JPL has a rival.
I like this draft. They chose it with their hearts. All right, they chose it with their hearts. And as we see, all right, you guys want to use the Masha? Well, JPL with this Angela is really good to counter exactly that. And right now, for the side of Team Singapore, they're really controlling the lanes very, very well, all the way from the gold, mid, all the way to EXP. Right now, we're just looking at anyone trying to get the first blood. And speaking of, Gnart stealing over this orange buff, and I don't think Reminiscent knows what's going on.
Yeah, he's just going to give that away because he thought it was already stolen, not realizing that Gnart's just taking it inside the bush. He could have actually taken that back, but now Adamir going to be doing some damage. He wants revenge for that stolen buff. Will chunk out Gnart, but he gets to walk home pretty safely.
I feel at that moment, he was really considering, he's like, guys, I have a sprint. Like, I legit could get him, but they're like, no, it's still the early game. Make sure to practice constraint, and I feel like that is the better choice. And look at that arrival, making sure that the bottom lane is not gonna get touched. That's how he uses it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good usage of it, but we can definitely see that the EXP lane is leaning more towards Team Vietnam. Nguyen already showed that he is able to play the Benedetta pretty effectively, and this is not really a hero that is countered by the X-Borg. They will be able to steal away the turtle, and now they're making the engagement.
Yeah, we can see that Reminiscent didn't have any clear way to really go into the turtle pit, so that's probably why he was not able to secure it. I see that he's trying to use his ult to get into a better position, but yeah, it was not happening. For now, it's still quiet, but I feel like this quietness will not stay for long.
It's like the calm before the storm, as I think you would probably put it.
That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know how to see it.
Yeah, something's going to happen between these two teams because they are scaling teams, so it's expected that their early game is going to be a bit more passive than some of the other teams we've seen playing. But once certain heroes hit their power spike, once certain players are able to get their items, then you know that both these teams want to be the first ones to really get the ball rolling.
And right now, Sayla is alone in the mid. I was looking at it, and it's going to be very, very dangerous. But right now, Team Singapore, they just want to make sure that they control their own jungle first. It's kind of like Reminiscent just letting them know. It's like, okay, guys, I know you guys have minions, but please make sure that my buff is still around for me to farm. I think like that's one of the reasons why they want to slow this thing down. They want to make sure that Gnart doesn't punish Team Singapore for overextending. And right now, Vietnam is actually trying to engage. Gnart going over to Adamir. But look at this, Team Singapore, they're actually having the better team fight composition. Adamir is being protected by the Heart Guard, and Gnart is going to be first blood. But Reminiscent went a little bit too far, and no, manages to get the return kill.
That's a little bit unfortunate for Team Singapore because I feel like they could have definitely gotten that first blood without sacrificing Reminiscent. He just had to walk out and leave it to Adamir, but got a little bit greedy there. Overall though, well played. JPL getting the timing on the Heart Guard to keep his carry alive.
Yeah, that was very clutch. I also thought that Adamir would not survive that, and right now, no. With the runners, it's gonna be a really I'm very, very scared to actually go up against a Beatrix that likes to stay in the bushes. But either way, we're going to talk about that a little bit later because right now, Team Vietnam, they're going to start this hurdle. And Team Singapore, they are there, but I don't think they can actually do anything about it. Adamir going a little bit too far in front, but not going to get punished.
Yep, Ducknam gonna be the one to secure it. That's the second turtle now for Vietnam. And you can see that they have the slight net worth lead, but they're also roaming around the map a lot more than Team Singapore. So even though they have 2 turtles, Singapore, they're only about 500 gold behind, which isn't much of a deficit at all.
And right now we can see how 3 members from the side of Vietnam is there trying to deal damage to Reminiscent, but it doesn't look like he was dealt that much damage. But look at that. He is going to take much more from No as well as Gennard. And Adamir is there to be like, get away from my friend. I'm here. Don't forget that I'm here. I'm also a gold laner. I can dish out the damage.
I think that considering his gameplay so far, Adamir is going to start to become a problem pretty soon. So Vietnam wants to make an attempt on him, hitting him with a Howl Shock, but not able to push him back. So they're not quite able to find that kill onto Team Singapore. Soul are now going to be able to regain control of the lane over the Benedetta, considering that he has been roaming around to help out his team more. This will free up Soul to provide assistance.
Yeah, right now I do want to see what kind of itemization that Soul wants to go through, because for now, for the side of Singapore, they don't have a reliable CC. They have crowd control in Farsa, but again, you have to make sure your skills hit. Team Vietnam, they don't have hard CC as well, but at least the slows coming in from Lilia is going to be annoying enough to actually give them an advantage when it comes to the team fights.
Well, I wonder if it will be enough though, because Team Singapore definitely has more options in that regards. With the turtle now coming up in the next 15 seconds, you can see that both teams are playing around this area to make sure that they are in the better position. Zayla now going to be forced to use Wing by Wings, taking a lot of damage from the Thunderclap.
Team Singapore, again, we're looking at Benedetta trying to get as much damage as he can to Sayla. But look at this. Singapore tries to retaliate. Bad Reminiscent trying to get kills on over to anyone's soul. He still has his immortality just going to the front. And Reminiscent is really, really trying to stick around. He really wants that kill. But it looks like he doesn't have enough damage. Singapore and Vietnam, they want that fight, but they don't seem to be able to connect any of their damage.
Yeah, but they're still continuing here. Both teams want this turtle, and it is dropping real low right now. Duck Nam gonna be the one to secure it, as now An gonna be taking the fight against Adamir, using the Electro final blow. Not quite enough, as Gennard uses the Thunderclap to disengage from Renanisset. Vietnam walks out with the free objective.
It's a good thing that Adamir had his sprint. He was able to get out of the Electro final blow, because if not, I would feel like that would be a kill, especially since Benedetta has, I was about to say, he has that execute, but looks like Astra is going to be the better of him. Taylor managing to secure that kill.
This Benedetta so far not quite working out for Vietnam, but the arrival keeping the towers alive. The Jonas Welcome gonna be keeping Reminiscent within, but the Heart Guard gonna be keeping the Team Singapore jungler healthy for now. 8 minutes into the game, only 3 kills total. I knew both these teams would be pretty passive, but this is already surpassing my expectations.
Well, both of the teams, we have to review what they're trying to do. They keep trying to bait out the ults. They're trying to bait out as much skills as they can. And once those skills are out, they're like, let's just wait a little bit more. We need the items. Because again, looking at the itemization here, everyone just roughly has just 1 core item completed. So maybe it's not enough. However, Adamir having 2 items over here already has the Demon Hunter Sword as well as the Golden Staff. I kind of feel like if he does want to, he can push a little bit further. If he's worried about his defenses, then he should be looking to get that Thunderbolt.
Yeah, but similarly, No has already completed 2 items as well. Blade of Despair and Malefic Roar. And now Gennard getting the start. Thunderclap on top of Adamir. He's out of position. Heart Guard gonna be keeping him alive for now, but it's not gonna be enough as the Electro Final Blow finds the kill. Not Aaron gonna be able to walk away for free as the Lilia zones out the rest of the team. Fetid Airstrike will be keeping Team Singapore alive for now, but they already lost their most valuable core member.
Yeah, unfortunately, Adamir was severely out of position there, especially again. This is why I kind of still favor the Beatrix over the carry. I know what the carry is about, a tank killer, but he has one clear disadvantage, which is the range. The range is very, very short. That's why I was very, very worried, especially going up against the Lilia. The Lilia was not that big of a factor in the previous team fight, but if it goes later into the game, again, we fought against Lilias before. We don't even know that she is there. And then all of a sudden, the damage that she deals to us as a marksman is just a little bit too much. So a lot of things have to be micromanaged. And right now, Team Singapore, they're actually being pushed back. Adamir, he has to dish out the damage, but can he?
Yeah, they already find one though. Dugnam now completely out of position. He got the Lord, but he's gonna lose his life. The 3 members of Team Singapore as Romanison jumps into the backline and finds the kill onto Mio as well. That's gonna be a 3-for-0 trade, but Vietnam do get the tower, and we can see the Benedetta down here in the bottom lane just getting objectives for his team.
Let's look at the gold lead. Right now, Vietnam has 28,000 while Singapore has 26. And this is also a very good use of the arrival, just using it on the minions so that they can push further. Right now, Vietnam, the Lord is there. It's a good thing that Reminiscent is there just to make sure that the Lord does not get any advantage on the map. But either way, Vietnam, they have the gold advantage. So Team Singapore, they have to be careful right now because they're actually on the back foot.
Now, all things considered, Vietnam is doing a very good job of prioritizing objectives. Now they're going for the tier 1 tower. Thunderclap onto the far side, and the backline forces out Wings by Wings as Last Insanity going to be forcing out Team Vietnam. Adamir, he's still looking for the kill, but he knows he's outnumbered and will decide not to pursue.
Sailor really needs that crucial stun because, again, we talked about this, but Singapore, they don't have enough crowd control, and this is what I'm talking about. I was curious about what Soul is going to do with this X-Board because, again, they do not have a lot of crowd control, and it looks like he is going, at least as far as I can see, he is going to do Ice Queen 1. He's going to finish up his Ice Queen 1, so at least whenever he dishes out his skill, there's going to be additional slow. Damage, not so much, but you already have carry. You don't need a lot more damage. You just need slow. You just need to peel. You just need to make sure that Team Vietnam, they cannot do whatever they want. They cannot be able to go in front and back way faster than us.
I can definitely agree with that. Mobility is going to be the name of this game right now because there's a lot of heroes that are actually quite immobile and easy to catch if you're able to position yourself correctly, and having that movement speed gives you a lot more advantage in setting up those kills. We can see now that Vietnam, they're coming up top lane to try and gank Adamir, but he's already safely back in the vicinity of his team.
Right now, they also have to be careful because the Benedetta is just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's going to be a situation where Team Singapore, they want to play the 5v5 team fight, but can they? Because right now, Gunnar is focusing on to Adamir, and then now we can see Vitrix trying to push, and Reminiscent, can he do anything to the side of Vietnam?
No, he's gonna get caught out with the Detona's welcome, but Winter Trunking keeps him alive as Feathered Airstrike zones them out. They already pick up Dugnam and Hot Guard on top of Adamir, allowing him to pursue forward. The Benedetta coming from the backline with the Electro final blow, not gonna be able to do much. He is completely out of position, and that is a killing spree going over to Reminiscent.
The damage coming out from the carry is superb, and right now we can see Singapore what they are really trying to do, because it's not just Soul that's gonna finish off his Ice Queen 1, but we also see that JPL has one for himself, again with 100 kill participation, just to mention that. And Adamir, I think he already completed his Thunderbelt, so that's a lot of slows coming in. So from the side of Singapore, they can kite very, very well, and they can pursue very, very well just because there's just too many slows on the side of Team Singapore, and they managed to secure this Lord for themselves. Right now, they're looking at a better position of the game.
That's going to be the very first objective of the game for Team Singapore, but it's a very important one because it is the first Luminous Lord of the game. They want to try and use this to get as many objectives as possible. Most likely, should be able to take the top tier 2. Meanwhile, Vietnam, they are already in position to try and respond. Gunnar pushing down the bottom lane, while we can see Benedetta going to be able to receive this Lord and stop it from taking the tower.
Yeah, but again, Adamir should be feeling very good right now with the amount of damage that he is pushing out. And the Lord is there. Team Vietnam, they're trying really hard to make sure that the Lord doesn't get into the vicinity of the turret, and they managed it well. So that was a Lord that just gave Singapore free gold and experience, but no pressure on the map itself.
We can see that the plan from Team Singapore was to use the Lord as a distraction to take the bottom tier 2. They weren't able to quite pick it off, but now they're trading for the top tier 2 instead. Feathered Airstrike will zone out Mio, and ensure that they are not able to defend against this. So Singapore starting to bite back.
I gotta say, I like the use of Arrival coming in from JPL, making sure that they secure these objectives or protect the objectives. But anyways, Singapore, they have 5 people mid. Seoul initiating, trying to get that initial burst damage. But everyone from the side of Vietnam, they managed to kite it out. And Team Singapore, they have to back off.
I think that's pretty smart though from Team Singapore, using the last Insanity to try and get a big burst when they notice that Team Vietnam are all grouped up together. At the moment that Seoul realizes, I'm not going to be able to get a good ultimate here, instantly tells his team, okay, we cannot take this fight, it is time to leave.
Yeah, it's also a very good tool just to kind of force the enemy team to respond, whether you want to go back or you want to fight back. So I feel like it's just one of those things that you can use to really see what the mood of your opponent really is. Because again, this Xborg should not deal a lot of damage based on the itemization that he's building up. So he does want to see how does Team Vietnam want to react in this particular situation. And as of right now, they do not want to fight if they see all 5 people there. And even though Xborg did overextend, they're not gonna take the bait, because it could be something that they have planned earlier on.
It feels like both these teams right now are just playing safely and feeling each other out, not really looking for aggressive plays until they can guarantee a pick-off, because they know what's at stake. Right now, Vietnam only about 2k net worth behind as well, and both teams are starting to reach the point where their cores are going to get full items. But still, I'm surprised at how passively these teams are playing this game.
Yeah, it's already 15 minutes into the game, but we have to remind everyone that is watching the game right now that this is for their tournament lives. They have to win this one 2-0 confidently to be able to be uncontested, to be the top 2 in Group B. If they win 1-1, then there will be a tiebreaker situation. So they probably want to avoid that as well, trying their very best to win a 2-0. But right now we can see Team Vietnam, they're going to focus on the Lord. Seoul and Sayla are here. Fed airstrike has been opened up, and we can see that Gnard is going for Sayla, but Vietnam manages to secure the Lord for themselves. Adamir manages to get kills, but overall, Vietnam trading 1 not only for Sayla but also for the Lord. I would say that's a favorable trade.
Yep, that's pretty worth for Team Vietnam, and Team Singapore, they definitely tried to stop them. You could see that Sayla was even ready to give up his life to try and get them off of the Lord. And even though we bought a lot of time on Gnard, it was No who was able to secure it with the Nibiru's Passion. While they were still able to follow up at the end of that fight by picking up a kill as Reminiscent came in, it was just a little bit too late. And now they kind of have to deal with this Lord and Vietnam pushing the top lane at once.
Yeah, Team Singapore waited for a very long time. We have to see whether this is advantageous to them or not. They're using all their ultimates just to clear the minions. And as of right now, it looks like they did manage to take out the Lord. So this is the 3rd Lord that did not manage to see any turret.
I feel like Team Vietnam definitely could have used that opportunity to try and make an aggressive play, because they know that Team Singapore are going to be split up to defend multiple zones. Arrival are going to be used to protect the tier 2 again. And this is allowing Team Singapore to really delay this game for them to get their pharma.
Yeah, Team Singapore, they are playing the patient game. However, I do want to say, I kind of feel like they could push a little bit more, but probably just because they don't have a reliable initiator that is actually creating problems for them. Because I feel like for the side of Singapore, the main problem is actually the Lilia. Once Lilia is out of the picture, then they can focus on the Beatrix a little bit better. Just because, yes, the damage coming in from Beatrix is quite high, but the slow coming in from Lilia is going to be a problem. And for the side of Singapore, it's pretty obvious that Sayla as well as Adamir will be the players that they have to watch out for. Because going up against Reminiscent, I don't know, if you can catch with the Daytona's Welcome, that's great. But I don't know. I feel like Singapore should really use their advantage right now because I feel like they're in a better spot in this game. But, you know, that's just my opinion.
I absolutely agree, honestly. Singapore, they are in a much better spot to be able to take fights right now because the heroes have already hit power spikes and they are stronger individually. So that they're able to split up the fight and catch out members of Vietnam by themselves, they should absolutely take those opportunities. That's what they're doing right now with Gnot, but he's got sprint, so he's fine.
Yeah, right now we can see Team Vietnam, they're actually using the passiveness of Singapore to get as much objectives as they can, as much control as they can. And we can see they managed to get an inhibited turret from Singapore. But right now we have to see, can they capitalize on the mistake? Can they get this Benedetta? And it looks like Benedetta, there's nowhere for him to run away. Just stalling, just making sure that I really feel like that feather airstrike was not necessary.
I do agree there. He was confirmed to be dead. Yes, they want to confirm the kill, but that's an important cooldown. And the Benedetta did actually buy quite a lot of time for his team to try and take the Lord. Luckily though, Soul is here, already getting started on it. Reminiscent is in the area as well, but they jump into the backline. Sayla dropping real low, but not able to finish things off. Soul does not have his Viraga armor as well. Lord dropping real low. Who gets it? It's going to be the Barat. Team Vietnam secures the Lord and they take out Reminiscent. Gnot jumps into the backline, picks off Sayla, but will lose his life in exchange. And now Vietnam are going to be the aggressors as they continue pushing onward. Nam gonna get picked off. Immortality already popped, not able to finish off Soul as the killing spree goes over to Adamir. They jump into the backline. Adamir almost gets picked off, but he's able to survive. Gets the double kill onto No as well. Soul survives thanks to the Heart Guard.
Yeah, we can see that Team Singapore, they have the damage, but they do not find the angles to really engage. And this is really punishing them because they're giving a lot of advantages over to Vietnam. And right now, I would say, as the host country, they're feeling very, very good because their chances of victory in this game is way higher compared to Singapore as of right now, just because of the fact that they managed to get the majority of the Lords and they're pushing very, very, very hard.
Soul already getting his immortality pop, using the last insanity zone out both Neo and Not Ang, but they've lost their last inhibitor. Singapore, they've played way too passively for most of this game and it has now cost them dearly. There are no more towers protecting their crystal.
It's unfortunate that JPL did use his arrival, but it was not enough. Right now, Vietnam, they have a lot of advantage. Right now, we don't even need to look at the goal because everyone is on their way to completing every single item. So either way, this is their max capacity. This is their max potential for both of these teams. It's just that Vietnam, they have a large advantage based on their map position because Singapore, they're being put in a small corner, while Vietnam, they have a lot more options. They can go anywhere that they really want. And again, having that Lilia there does make it very difficult for Singapore to really do anything because the damage is almost invisible and the slow is a little bit too much to handle.
The unfortunate thing is that this wasn't the case for Singapore a little while ago. If they just tried to go for more aggressive pickups, yes, it's risky, but if you don't take risk, well, we already see what the result of that is. They have to defend like their lives depend on it. At this point in the game, net worth difference does not matter, especially since both teams are actually evenly matched in that term as well. And honestly, this is probably the quietest I have ever seen the Land of Dawn.
Okay, so for all the audience that is seeing our commentary on Singapore being a little bit too passive, is just because we have to realize that everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. But when you have your own strength and you're not playing towards your own strength, you're not playing towards your own win condition, then it's just going to slowly give an opportunity for your enemy team to really use this passiveness to their advantage. And Vietnam has done so well. So for the side of Singapore, this is their game to lose. And Vietnam, they're going ahead. So using his last insanity a little bit early, and Sayla in a bad position to open up the feathered airstrike. Adamir taking a lot of damage going up against Gennard in the back line. Soul is getting focused by the Barras. The Barras is basically unkillable. And look at that. Beatrix secured the win for Vietnam. It is a 1-0 for Vietnam.
That is probably the most anticlimactic way to win a game I have ever seen. I did not even realize that No was on the